thinking to myself the other day whilst I was playing a couple of rounds of Battlefield 4, especially when I was standing at deployment and there were no vehicles left and the guy who just drove away was the only one in a tank. Is there any way that teamwork can be improved within the Battlefield series? Now that Battlefield 4's been out for a long time, a lot of players have settled in to a specific way of playing. They found the best way to have fun and they stick to it. A lot of times though, that sacrifice that they have to have fun is teamwork. That's what they sacrifice. It can be more fun to go and do things that don't require you to work as a team. That can just be an inconvenience to a lot of people. For example, sniping people from 200 meters away and missing the majority of shots, or camping with a tank behind good cover and just smashing shells into infantry and not taking out the other tank that's now flanking behind you. Or use that tank as a taxi, as I had in my situation, simply to get to the next objective. I can completely understand all of these actions. You want to have fun in a game, and therefore it's natural that you use the game and what it has to offer, you exploit it to have fun. A lot of Battlefield's so-called teamwork functions, however, are heavily rewarded with XP bonuses. A lot of things within Battlefield are rewarded with XP bonuses, and this is where I think the problem lies. But how can we make it more team play focused and still give players the fun they want to have? Well, I do have a few suggestions, and I think they would translate well moving forwards in the Battlefield series. I don't think there's any point doing it now to Battlefield 4, the game's too old, but there is another big game not far off, and I think these changes would go well into that game. They are specific examples, just a few things I've jotted down on a notepad over the last few weeks. I always have one next to my PC, because you never know when inspiration might strike. First example, aiding other players. What I mean by this is you physically do something to help another player during a time of need. That could be something really simple, just like dropping a med pack or an ammo crate. And let's take those two actions and look at them currently within Battlefield 4 and see what they do right now. If you drop a med pack and someone needs healing, you get heal points, and that's cool. But there's nothing more to it than that. You do one simple thing in game and you get a big pat on the back from the XP feed. I think to help players understand the need for teamwork, these actions could be expanded on in terms of their XP reward. If a player calls out to you and asks for a med kit, you can just hit Q on PC looking at a medic and it will say, hey, I need a med kit. If you do that and somebody drops the med pack at you, the person who did that is taking part in teamwork. You asked for something, they gave it to you. They should receive points from that. But if you run up to a med pack that's already on the ground, that's also teamwork because somebody's left that there, but it's more of a passive version of teamwork. Conveniently, somebody just left a med pack on the ground and you used it. I think more points should be awarded for you dropping a med kit when someone needs it than someone simply running up to it and using it. You've actively worked as a team if someone calls out for a med kit and you drop it. Perhaps offer full points for someone who dropped a med kit when someone asked for it, and offer half points for someone simply strolling up to a med kit that just happens to be on the ground. It's a simple change from what already exists in Battlefield 4, but players would quickly learn that simply spamming medkits on the ground when no one's asking for them may not be always the way to get the points they're looking for. And if you can think about it, there are ways to teach people in-game to do these things anyway, because a lot of complaints are that people don't drop ammo and people don't drop medkits. Why not use the loading screens for maps that you're about to play on to actually give hints to players, like they did in Bad Company 2? That thing was a really good implementation and made it really easy for people to find out how to do things in-game. Second example, objective play. Right now in Battlefield 4, you can get a massive number of points for capturing a flag during a game of conquest, and you're rewarded those points as long as you're on the burn of the flag just in time for it to capture. There is a small portion of time right at the end of the capture time that you won't get any points anyway, but even if you've only just got onto the flag, you can still get a lot of points for really not doing a huge amount to help take that flag. To me, that seems a little bit silly, and that's in contrast to the other points that you can get by pointing out objectives in-game, like spotting somebody. If someone then kills the player that you've spotted, you get points. That is a good implementation of teamwork. You spotted a target and then somebody took out that target because you told them where they were. Job done. To fix the larger issue that's here, as mentioned with flag captures, perhaps adding a scaling system for the points awarded would be better. For example, if you stayed on the flag zone for the entirety of the capture, all the way from enemy to friendly, you'd get full points. You stayed there and captured that more than anybody else did. You deserve a full reward. If you join midway through the capture, say while the flag is neutral, then you'd get half the points. You still help secure the flag, but not as much as the other guy. And lastly, there's the guy who just jumps onto the flag at the last minute. They should get very minimal points. Yes, they may have helped capture the last 20% of the flag, but the majority of the time, once you've got to that point, the people that are already at that flag can capture it anyway. He didn't directly fight for the objective. He wasn't on the flag killing people. He might have been running towards it, might have picked off a few spotted enemies, good job there, but he didn't actively contribute to the capture of the flag. Again, this is only a small change, but one that rewards players who do play the objective more than a player that might be running by and just wanted to grab the free XP. What this then teaches you is if you are one of those players that just runs past all the objectives all the time, looking to get kills or headshots or something like that, then you're not going to get the big points in the round. You need to actually help your team and play the objective in order to get the big bonus points that everyone else is getting. And then you might actually move up through the ranks quicker. And ultimately, because Battlefield is so reliant on a progression and XP system, isn't that a better implementation than just giving everybody the same amount of points, regardless of what they've done on that objective at that time? And finally, my third example, winning. This sounds like rather an obvious point to make, but right now in Battlefield 4, the focus on winning a match is still nowhere near as important as it could be. You can rack up so many points by doing other things in-game that even when it comes to you losing a round, on the scoreboard at the end, you could still be top of the losing team and have more points than the winning player on the winning team. We all know that player. He's sitting at the top of the leaderboard. He's got a KD that's bigger than his own manlyhood. And he's probably sitting in a tank or flying in a jet or getting a massive, massive kill streak playing as infantry and not really doing anything to help his team. He knows he's going to come top, so there's no incentive for him to help his team anymore. He knows he can win every single time. For me, I always want to win. I've played the game for 400 hours now, and clearly I'd have stopped playing if I didn't feel like there was any reason to play anymore. But perhaps giving players a bigger overall score for winning a round would be appropriate, or even personalise the match win bonus per player, so if one guy got 6 revives and loads of healing done during the round, he'd get a higher match win bonus than someone who hadn't done that. I don't know, this suggestion wasn't completely formed in my head, but I still don't think there's enough incentive to win a match in Battlefield right now. It's too easy to still get loads and loads of XP and just not really play the objective. You want to win the round, surely that's why you're playing, but a lot of people just choose to ignore that simply so they can get more XP. Those are just some of my thoughts, and I have a head full of thoughts right now. So many videos brewing, but if you do have some good suggestions for how team play can be improved in Battlefield, I'd like to see them in the comments today. Let me know what you actually think about this situation. Maybe you think teamwork is absolutely fine. I don't think we'd agree on that, but nevertheless, leave your comments anyway. I would like to read them. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a like if you did, or even dislike the video if you didn't. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.